There's one thing that I should say before we start all this, or you watch any segment, any page of English Club or any other show, that common sense is not common anymore. And how common sense develops when you spend time with yourself, when you spend time on yourself. And I have believed one thing, that the only person I know perfectly is me first. After that, I start knowing maybe Miraziz, maybe Yosalat, and then I ask you questions. That's how it does. I remember your names. So, and remember one thing, everyone, it's the way you make people feel, then you get a job. You don't get a job just because you have some papers, there's a kagaz or kagaz, or there's a sifat malumat nama, then you say that I have got this much diplomas or everything. It is more about when you actually make them feel, and how you make them feel. Let me make a story before we move on to this thing. Someone comes at the door, knock knock, who's there? Parveen. From where? I'm from India. Why have you come? I have come for a job of teaching English and leading something. Okay, but what you have done? I have got this educational qualification. Okay, fine, everyone has done it. What else you have done? I have got these certifications, extra certifications also. Again, another question, and please remember, the darwaza, that door is not open yet. Then they say, okay, fine, you have done certifications. Do you have some experience also? Then you say, yeah, I have this experience. I have got 1, 2, 3. Have you done any project? Yes, I have done some project. They say, okay, fine, I will not open the door. I need to know, do you have something other than this, like extracurricular or something? You say, no, I was wasting time in the classroom. I never went to play, or maybe something. Or you can say, no, yes, I participated in debates. I did blogging. I did podcasting, or I did some hosting, anchoring, documentary making, filmmaking, some projects of coding. Then they say, okay, fine, did you get some awards for it? Awards and achievements. Then you say, yes, I got one medal, one this, one that. They say, okay, fine, what languages you know? You tell them the languages. They ask you, have you traveled to other countries? You give them a list. And then they ask you, can you tell something about your age, your family maybe? Then you tell them about your family and everything. And then they say, do you know someone in our organization, or someone who can say some good words about you? And then you mention a couple of names. We call them references. And then say, welcome, Khushkalipses, you can come in, because this sequence of starting with your name and ending with references is done. This is what everything is in the resume. So let's move on to the next slide to understand how you can make a resume which makes sense, which is required. So making sense means that it is impressive, and making sense means if you have got some mehman, some guest who is going to eat this kind of thing, you make that kind of thing for them. So customization is something which gives sense to everything that you do. So masterclass on resume is talking about what is a CV, what is a biodata, or maybe a portfolio or a profile. We shall talk about different forms of resume, like chronological or something else. We can talk about the primary purpose. The suburb of today's talk is platforms to make resume. How you can make easy and smart resumes there, and then we'll talk about 2 more things. Let's move on to the next slide, and then we'll see the process, how it goes on. Before we make a resume, we need to start understanding it. Curriculum vitae, curriculum vitae, or what exactly it is. Resume is not a verb, it's a noun. So resume is the correct pronunciation. We should do that. The second one that we have here is curriculum vitae. That is not vitae, so that vitae has to be there. What I have taken is the pronunciation from the Oxford Dictionary. So this correction is required, because you know, the moment you switch on something, it should be switched on and should go correctly. Let's move on to the next slide. And this pronunciation we should remember. There are 2 things that I would state to you. Just one part of it is that the CVs, the curriculum vitae or the CVs, they are more extensive, like your syllabus, like curriculum. So everything is written there, which you feel they should know. Doesn't matter, you're repeating it. You feel that, okay, I have to write my paper name, my employer, and everything. Then the resumes are concise. Concise means compact. They are to the point, and you believe that they are smart people. If I'm saying I am a Bachelor of Technology in Computer Science, they know it, that what computer science people will study. But in a CV, we need to tell them. So CV is more of a teacher type of thing, and resume is more of a professional thing. Let's move on to the next one. That's the difference. So we are in an age when everything is so smart, so quick. So that's why we follow more of a resume type of profile making. So next slide, please, and the Kingi slide will show us how we can move on to make good resumes now. Awesome and honest. So honest is something, the person who has that iman or that honesty, and awesome is something which is zor, I mean, which is fabulous, which is impressive. These two features should remain whenever you are making any presentation. Specific, that you should be able to say things which are correct. They should be able to see the name of the university, the place you have worked on, and they should get correct information from it. It should be measurable. They should have dates, how much time you have done on your work experience and everything. And measurable can also be something that they can assess it. They can do some assessment of it. Achievable. Anything that you have written there should be something that was achievable for people in your domain. Like, you know, if I'm a teacher of English or I'm a trainer of communication skills and I'm putting something that, you know, I have got a gold medal in football, will that be related to my speaking or my teaching skills in English? So there should be something which is achievable for teaching purpose. Realistic, should be hakiki, should be real, should not be false. And timely. Timely is if they are asking you to send a resume, you should customize it according to their need. I mean, don't send a resume in 2024 which was made in 1990. So it has to be timely. Let's move on to the next slide. These are just the features, or as we say in Uzbek, the sifat, the qualities of a resume. So resume, this pronunciation is quite interesting. Is it fox pass or something? No, this is faux pas. So this is a pronunciation which also creates mistakes when we are pronouncing it. Don't create such problems, such mistakes, such errors, or that's a faux pas in your resume making or profile making. Don't go to the wrong direction. I mean, it's better to be true, honest, and prepare yourself for the war to get a job or a position, or even you want to start your own business. Believe me, you have to give your portfolio to the bank, you have to give it to the ministries for grants, you have to give it to the people who will come to work with you. So ultimately, a resume is required for everyone. Now, redundancy is something which is a repetition. If I say, I will give you a free gift, a gift is always free. So free word can be removed. So there are some details that we add which are not repeated words, but they're repeated meanings or repeated expressions. Remove them. Spellings and punctuations, I'm sorry, I should not speak much about it, but this is a danger zone. When you do a spelling error or you do a punctuation error, you put a question mark somewhere, put a full stop somewhere, you don't put some bullets or something. I mean, that's a disaster. Anyone will say that, you know, he cannot dress up well, how good he may be able to speak. Do not give false information. This is a request to you. I mean, false does not mean that you are telling them a complete lie. False means that you don't have a story behind it. If I tell you that I have a prize of in a competition on public speaking, do have a story of it, a certificate behind it. So that should be there. And do not play the number game of 20 workshops, 20 research papers, or 30 patents or something. Play like a gentleman, a smart person. The numbers will not impress them, the quality will always impress them. Let's move on to the next slide. These are certain things that we should not be doing. I mean, putting false information. So let's go to next slide and see what comes next about resume writing. Yes, please. King slide, and then we move on to see what comes after this. What to do? When you're in your school, all of you, the young generation over there, the parents, the school children, if they are listening to, they are watching this episode, in the school and in the higher education, you should participate in your classrooms. The teacher should be able to make a good assessment of you. You should take part in competitions. You also do community service in your schools, because remember, when you go abroad, you apply to US, you apply to any other country, or you apply to some grant by the ministry, they need to know you better than as a student. So in your school and higher education, always do the best that you can do. Expand yourself, become like a sky, not just a bird. And a digital profile is required. I hope you know Snapchat and TikTok, but I'm not recommending that thing as a professional profile. I'm talking about a digital profile on LinkedIn. You can talk about Facebook, you can talk about your own blog, your website also, and then community. These three things, dear friends, we need to work on. Community, I mean joining some NGOs, some agencies, be it United Nations or be it my Mahalla community service unit. I should be working with them to do some community service with honesty. I mean, not just to get a paper certificate from them, but actually doing it honestly. So these three things we should be doing. I'll repeat. School and higher education, participate in all activities, be a part, be a leader, and be a winner here. Then digital profile or digital portfolio is the correct word here. Like, models, film stars, they make a portfolio. Or you're going to buy some furniture, the Mabel, they also show you some, you see a menu. So resume has become that kind of thing. I'm not saying that we sell ourselves to people for job, but we present our services. Do you know, on Windows, when we install something, there's a .exe file, or maybe on the MacBook we have got a .dmg. So every skill, everything that you mention in your resume, they should be able to click and install it in their organization. Put those things for them. If they don't need it, don't tell them that. So let's move on to the next slide and then see what is coming up next. Okay, do you remember that? Knock knock, who's there? Name, from where, then career objective, why have you come, what's the purpose, and then what have you done, this is my education. Then they say the education records are done, what experience you have, then they talk about what projects you have done, what exactly you did in your extracurricular, your after classroom activities, have you got any awards and recognitions and medals, achievements I mean, what languages you speak. Please remember, languages, they are very important. I mean, if I speak a couple of words of Uzbek or Russian, I get connected with the people of Uzbekistan. If you speak a few words, like just say namaste to any Indian and you suddenly become a friend, a trusted person. Languages have that magic. And think when you have a skill to get a better job in languages. References, star. If you wish to list people who know your work and then you want to tell the organization, the other one where you are putting an application, that you can talk to my principal, you can talk to my teacher, you can talk to my CEO where I worked, and they will say good words about me. Something else. You decided it is completely your home, it is completely your personality. Anything you feel will make a difference in getting an interview call. I mean, don't take it like as a final word that a resume will get you a job. The resume gets you a chance to present yourself for that interview where you get a job. And what you do in your job interview, you defend what you said on the paper. So they will ask you based on that paper, Parveen, you said this thing. Say something about it. And, oh, I just wrote it, I downloaded from somewhere. So avoid that thing. King is slide, and then we learn how to make it, where to make them. So there are three types of resumes, dear friends. I mean, we are going to the green one, the combination. Let's work on it, like a CV, a functional resume or something. We will work on something which goes in a convincing flow, like remember that knock knock. I mean, you want someone to be convinced of your skills. What way you are going to do it. I mean, that is not about putting some money in the packet of resume, but this is about what they want to know. They want to know you first. They want to know about your achievements, how good you will be for that job. So make arrangements according to it. There is no rule when you have got a sense, when you have got a skill to present yourself. If you don't have that skill, you feel you are a learner, follow the formats that I'm going to present to you. Let's move on to the next slide, please, and we will see what comes next, how to make a resume. You know them. You know Canva, you know LinkedIn, and you know MS Word. So dear friends, at present, I have no rights to teach you how to make a resume. Reason, we are in 2024 and you all are quite skilled with technology. So Microsoft Word has templates. You can just see them. Every single word you have to check minutely, and then you change it, you modify it, or you use it for yourself, but it should belong to you. Canva. Canva is a graphic designing platform where templates are there. You can make your resume there. Looks more attractive, more graphic, more good aesthetic to the eyes. And LinkedIn also. On LinkedIn, you can make a profile. It will ask you something. You give it details. And we already had a presentation on FLTV on LinkedIn once. So LinkedIn online portfolio, people ask for the link of your LinkedIn profile, link to your LinkedIn profile. So you should use these three things. Let's move on to see a brief demo or just slide or the stock. MS Word, please remember Microsoft Word or any word processing thing, Canva and LinkedIn. Three platforms you can use. From my side, I'm suggesting you can have more, and there is no AI involved here. I'm not talking about AI, I'm talking about HI, which is human intelligence. Let's move on to next slide and see what comes next. We are going to see whether Microsoft Word and they have. This is Microsoft Word, and this is something when you go for the templates, you can see that these are just a few that I could take a screenshot. It gives you that option of making a choice. Which one you like for you, because you have to defend it. I mean, if I give you a resume and I say, I don't know who made it, maybe my friend made it, ask me question, that doesn't work. And when you go for your job interview, they're also coming to take your interview. So it's a good day for them. It's a special day for them as well. So it's a mutual game in which both the parties, they want to win and make feel good. Let's move on from Microsoft Office to the next slide and see what is there in the screenshot to invite you to use the next platform, which is Canva or LinkedIn. You can make a guess. That's Canva. Canva has got, is that on Ming 10,000 then? So 10,000 templates they provide. You can use them easily. Use the one you like. Let's move on to the next slide now and we'll see LinkedIn. LinkedIn doesn't make your resume by like Microsoft Word or Canva. You can make your profile and you go to the More button. When you go to your profile, there you will find a button called, you can download it, Save to PDF. The same profile which is on LinkedIn, because it has got, titles, educational qualification, I will add, experience, voluntary experience, and projects and all, I will add, and then I can generate that PDF from LinkedIn. So this is one thing that you should be remembering. On LinkedIn, on Canva, on Microsoft Word, there are ready-made templates. If I will start teaching you how to make a resume, anyone can say that, we know this, there are so many resources. So we are coming together to decide to make an impressive resume. Let's move on to the next one and then see what comes next. That's a promise, that's an assurance, that's a team decision by you and me that as a ritual, as a tradition, as a rule, as a discipline, you will see your resume every single day or at least every week to make updates to it. The reason is we are so good that we forget the good that we do. So it is better that you remember and keep updating it. Life is not just about Instagram or Telegram. Life is also about your gram, your music. So sing it loud, make a good resume where you will impress them by making sense. So we had this much today. Over to the studio on the right side.